Good evening. Music scholarship has gotten a lot better in the last 20 years or so, and that's a very good thing. I'm guessing that most of us have probably at some point read an old music history or music appreciation textbook, and we may have actually learned something and enjoyed the music a little bit more, but most of us probably walked away underwhelmed by the book itself. There's a reason for that. Scholars back then tended to look at themselves not just as historians, but also as sort of salesmen for the music itself. And it's too bad, because they took the lives of composers and they sort of stripped away all the interesting parts and made them sound like these perfect composing machines that just composed these great works with no motivation, no humanity, no failings, no setbacks, nothing. The truth is always much more interesting, however. And so along with that line of thought came some other flaws, I think. They tended to focus on the end of composers' careers, on the culmination of their work. They also tended to focus on the end of musical periods. And so we don't really get to explore as much as we should the music from the early parts of, say, the Baroque and the Classical era. We tend to see where it ended up, and we tend to focus on that. It's really too bad. So we're getting deeper into the repertoire now. We're discovering new works all the time. And so our program tonight gets to be a little bit more interesting that way. Yes, we have Bach's Suite, we have orchestral top 10 all the way, with famous air and everything. But we also have this concerto for oboe and violin, which doesn't get played all that much, and it's a wonderful piece. And then the other two are much more rare. You may have even thought there was a mistake in the program. You might have seen water music and thought, wait a minute, that's Handel. The truth is that many composers composed on these themes. And yes, Telemann composed a water music. Telemann scholarship is an amazing thing right now. We're just discovering just how important a composer he really was. He probably left behind about as much as Bach. And we're just starting to get it cataloged. We're just starting to realize just how amazing all that music is. And this is one of those pieces that has come forward as probably being a pretty significant work of its time. And the big surprise is this French Baroque piece that we'll start with, Jean-Ferry Rabel's The Elements. This is as crazy as you could imagine from the Baroque. The first chord sounds more like Schoenberg than it does like something you would expect from hundreds of years ago. And it's an amazing piece. The first movement is a depiction of chaos, and there are 4 words used throughout in the score: earth, air, fire, and water. And they each get musical ideas, and they combat each other. So sometimes the accompaniment is louder than the melody. And it's supposed to sound chaotic and weird. After that, it's a much more typical Baroque suite from there on out, more dance-like and that sort of thing. But this piece was way ahead of its time. So it's fun to present something that's way out of the way, but that was so far ahead of its time that I think you'll say that maybe this piece that you're going to hear tonight is the most advanced thing we're playing the whole season. Enjoy.